Snap back, quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays are sacred. A football podcast.
What is up, everybody? And it is Sunday, but we don't believe in working on a Saturday because they're so sacred to us. And here at our new podcast, Saturdays Are Sacred, here on Sports Fluent. And you can be able to tune in Sundays at noon Eastern, 10 Pacific? Yes, 10,
9 Pacific.
9 Pacific.
9 Pacific, yeah.
If you are, if you're on that West Coast side. But Cody, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good, man. My team, USC, got a win last night on the road at Nebraska. Wasn't an ugly win, but I'll take it. So doing well. Yeah, just looking forward to getting this podcast rolling and talking some college football, which I could always do.
Before we get into it, yeah, this is a new podcast. I do want to say those Nebraska black alternates were ugly.
You didn't like them?
No,
Yeah?
it's just like it felt so fugazi to me. Like I get it, like, and it's like, you know, when people say like, "Oh, you guys are just so traditional, you guys are so boring or whatever," but now I'm like, yeah, maybe I get why you keep the red and white, like, and just keep it because like the black and white it looked like it was like a missing file.
Yeah,
uniforms.
And they were trying too hard, and then when they scored their first touchdown, everybody let off their black balloon and stuff. I was like, let's chill, Nebraska, let's chill. Yeah. You guys just extended Matt Rule. That's how bad things are probably going there. But yeah, it's like I don't know. Yeah, you tune into that game and you would see USC and the USC. They always were the same. They have their home, they have their road whites and their home red. Like it's always the same. The helmets are always the same. It's been that way for 45 years or more. But it's like you wouldn't have known that was Nebraska if you didn't see it on there because it's like that, just all black. It could have looked cool, but I think they were trying too hard, and it's just like. If you're Nebraska, if they're like Nebraska of the '90s and they're at the top of college football, then yeah, wear the blacks because it looks cool. But it's like, nah, like let's pump the brakes. This is 2025 Nebraska, which is not the same. But they played tough. It was an ugly game. Like USC came out unprepared, but they got the win, so that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's true. I did watch that game early on, and I was kind of intrigued in seeing what you guys are gonna do. But Nebraska was I was like, okay, it's Nebraska. Like that's the thing about Nebraska. Like, we'll get into it. But there's teams that will sell you a lemon of a car. You know, South Carolina, Nebraska.
I'm not gonna lie, USC could be that most weeks too. Like, oh, everybody thinks they're great, and then they come out flat. So yeah. But yeah, no, Nebraska is one of those teams. Yeah, if we want to get into it later, it's just like every year you think, okay, well maybe there's something, and then
nothing.
Not
a damn thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
but
yeah, so that's my team is USC. You're Georgia, right?
Georgia Bulldogs, man, and it's the thing is with our team this year. It's like I think we gotta as fans. We got a little spoiled on that 2-year run, right?
Oh, big time, yeah.
And which was fun. It was a lot of fun to do, but now it's like our team is gritty. We're gritty. It's not going to be pretty wins. It's not going to be like the dominant fashion that we really want to see for Georgia. Like I wanted to see us dominate. I thought we were going to have a better passers. I thought our defense was going to be better, but it's just we're going to have to hang in there and hope and just make the right plays. And I get it. We're building character. We're building this callus, but it's not a lot of fun to watch, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah.
But we're getting the wins, tough and gritty, and maybe this will just build our callus and have us be built for the playoffs, built for these tough environments. Because every week it seems to be a struggle. It's a power struggle every single week. And I would love for us to blow out Florida. To be honest with you, I would love that for me personally. But, it is what it is. Like, we got the win at the end of the day. Good running attack, and I think we're getting better each week. And other teams are not getting better each week, and same as Miami. So,
right. But I feel like that's a rivalry game. I mean, are we allowed to call it the world's greatest or world's largest cocktail party? I know that they're trying to shut that down. the name, but it's like whatever. But that's a rivalry, and I feel like Florida's played you guys tough the last couple of years. So
They
I
always
mean,
do.
yeah,
It's you never know what happens is going to be in Jacksonville. So and it's neutral site, and I think it's a big rivalry game for sure. And I think also with the firing of Billy Napier, it's like okay, cool, like let's go, let's get it, let's go, let's go for it. And so
right.
they did, and that what is it, the post firing boost or whatever you get
Yeah,
from
a lot of teams, yeah, will get that. Yep.
So, but yeah, they play well. I think DJ Lago still has talent. I mean, I think the biggest thing they're going to have to do this offseason is going to be to be able to retain uh, DJ Lagway, or maybe not. Maybe DJ
Maybe not.
Lagway might not be the guy, to be honest with you. So who knows?
Yeah. He shows flashes. Like there's sometimes where it's like, dang, he's good, and then it's like there's like the LSU game where it's like, damn, like that was tough.
It was
Yeah.
really
So
tough. Yeah.
yeah.
I love DJ Lagway. I was a big believer, but it's like we do have an issue right now with quarterback development, and
Oh,
it
big time.
definitely it's really tough to develop these quarterbacks right now, or at least give them a nice culture for them to grow.
Yeah.
And but I want to see DJ Lagway come back. Like I want to see these quarterbacks keep playing more and more snaps and get better. Because like I think we also want to write them off. Like we want to say, oh, DJ Lagway
Yeah.
stinks.
Right.
He's never going to amount to anything in his life. And I'm like, whoa, let's relax, let's calm down,
Right. No, he's only a
let's
sophomore. Yeah. He's a
yeah,
true sophomore too. It's like he's not even a red shirts. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's the development's not there. And then I think people just write people off too quickly, like the quarterbacks. Like, oh, this guy's trash. Like I thought Arch Manning was trash for most of the year, but yesterday I was like, hey, maybe he's got something there. Maybe there's something with that. A lot of them were like short passes, like and the wide receivers and running backs kind of did the work after him. I was like, hey, maybe he's got something there. So it's like, yeah, maybe we just need to. I know, like in this day and age, we're so easy to kind of just turn on people, but it's like, maybe give these quarterbacks, especially these young college quarterbacks, some time to see what happens.
yeah. So every Sunday at 12 o'clock, we're going to be here talking college football, breaking college football down, maybe even going to college basketball. We'll see, because our Saturdays are sacred. They're very sacred.
Always.
We wanted to protect the sanctity of watching college football. Obviously, YouTube TV and ESPN don't want to do that.
Right.
But if you guys want to get involved in the conversation, make sure you comment down below. Comment wherever you're watching us from, and let us know where you're watching from as well. And then we'll get you guys involved in the conversation. But right now, where we're steering the conversation is we're trying to figure out who's hiring. Okay,
Ooh. Ooh.
who is hiring around here? I know it's tough in the real world as people trying to find jobs and stuff, but it's also now getting tough in the college football world as well. There's some, these universities are trying to find the new leader, the new CEO that's going to help push them forward. I mean, we're seeing it's even getting a series going up to the state governor,
Yeah, and LSU. Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
it's getting crazy times in college football. So let's figure out who is hiring right now. And obviously the biggest, you said it, one of the biggest jobs, and it's an SEC job, is Louisiana State University. And that is a very unique job. It's a unique culture. Obviously playing one of is it the greatest sports environment?
They say.
One of the best home field advantages in college football, possibly. But yeah, that team obviously not too far removed. I guess it's about 5 years now.
6 years, 5 6 years, yeah.
So since their national championship run, when they had a historic offense, and I don't know, I think this is a good job. I think LSU is a good
I
job.
think it's a really good job. Yeah.
Where would you rank it? Would you rank it as the best job right now open?
Yeah, I would. Just because, I mean, you have the recent history. I mean, up until Brian Kelly, their last three coaches, whether it was Orgeron, Les Miles, Nick Saban, had all won a national championship. And let's be honest, like the only elite coach of those three is Nick Saban. Les
Yeah.
Miles and Ed Orgeron are not elite coaches, but they were still able to win a national title. And I feel like LSU, like there's good recruiting. Like you're next to Texas, you're close to Florida, you can recruit down there. You got the history, and I mean, when LSU's rolling, I think they can rival Alabama and Georgia in the SEC when they're good. And I just don't know if that's the capability for Florida right now. And then Penn State, I mean, I don't know. I think Penn State's a good job, but are they ever going to be Are they ever going to be better than Ohio State? Now Oregon's there. If Michigan gets their act together, if USC gets their act together, it's like where does Penn State fall? That's why I would say if I had to rank it, like those three are clear the top three. I don't think there's really like any debate there. My ranking would probably be LSU, then probably Penn State, then Florida, but it's close between Penn State and Florida. I think LSU's clearly the top job. I kind of would rank LSU as a top 5 job in the country just because the resources. You have the governor actively trying to get a coach, so there's like buy-in there. They have money. They're going to be paying Brian Kelly $54 million to not coach, so they got money. So and I think you get the recruiting there and the history. I think LSU is the best job available. And I think if the right person gets in there, they could be a big team again.
I'm glad you said your top 3 rankings. I'm looking at a ranking sheet right now, and this ranking actually has Florida as the second best job, LSU number 1, and I kind of would agree with that just because of the talent pool that Florida has, just to keep kids in state. Like it's just insane talent in Florida. And obviously you in theory should have like a really good quarterback if you can retain him and DJ Lagway to be your starter next year. But again, you don't really know if that's going to be feasible, or I mean, depending who gets that job, I might have someone I'm bringing with me. Say if I hire the North Texas coach, right? Like I'm bringing my guy with me.
Bringing Mestamaker, sure.
And even though he definitely disappointed me yesterday because I needed him to throw 3 touchdowns for my parlay, and they wanted to hand the ball off a ton against Navy, which is crazy to me, but whatever, who cares? I care. But anyways, I really like Florida, and I just think they have so much talent that's just, and I don't know whether or not, like, what kind of personality, what kind of, like, leadership style that you need, because maybe you might have to be an Urban Meyer and have a bunch of misfit characters in the building and to be able to get the most out of them. Like, like I'm hearing people like Joe Klatt talk about, or what's the other guy who always goes around? I can't think of his name. But he says like he visits all these campuses and talks to these coaches. And
Josh Pate.
I guess was Josh Pate the one that's on who went on Bussin' with the Boys?
Yeah. Okay. I like him. He's good.
Yeah. So he talks about how, like, you go into these different buildings and you see how they're doing stuff, how they're running stuff. Like, how is this a sustainable model? And and that's why, you can fall for, like, hey, I like what they're doing. I like what I'm seeing out of what they're doing. But then it's just not equating to wins, right?
Right.
So, and then it's similar to like, similar to when Matt Rule was in Carolina and he was talking about how, like, the things that I did, people were kind of questioning, people talking all this mess about him. He's like, well, this thing that I'm doing I got it from Bill Parcells. So it's like, I get it from a valid football mind who's won every, where he's been at. Right. But then it's like, but when I take the formula, when I have the formula and try to implement it for myself, the formula is not working. Like, it tastes a little off, a little salty, maybe needs a little sugar. I don't know. Right. So it's like, who is going to be the right leadership style? We'll get to that. But it's just like, Florida's just an odd job. But again, it's like, what's undeniable is the talent they're able to get.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's because, like, especially because Florida State's down and Miami's good, but they're not great. They could be better. So it's like,
Miami's starting to become a Penn State because Cristobal is recruiting his ass off. Because, like, when you saw these edge rushes that they have in there, they're just pure pass rush moves that you see coming from these guys. But yet, Cristobal has terrible game management as a head coach, starting back from a couple of years ago when all they had to do was take a couple knees and the game's over.
Georgia Tech, geez.
So it's like, But anyways, yeah, they can recruit. They have enough budget. They have money. They're
Right.
not broke. They're
No,
not
no, God, no.
broke.
Yeah.
The
And that's
swamp is the swamp. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
They got good
it's
alumni. You got that's why I keep saying it's like that's why it's like Penn State, Florida's close for me. But I've seen Penn State win more recently. It's like Florida, it's like have they really been that good since I mean Dan Mullen had a couple good years, but basically it's since Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer left in what 2012 to go to Ohio State, whatever year that was, 2011, 2012, something like that. And so we're talking over a decade now. So yeah, I think Florida, the idea of Florida is really good, but I don't know. I just Billy Napier, I thought was maybe just he recruited well. Like they had good classes, decent transfer classes. They couldn't win on the field. I don't know. I don't know about Florida because I always think that could be a real big job, but then I don't know if they just need to go out there and just take a big swing. And I think they're gonna try. I think it could be a bidding war between them and LSU for Lane Kiffin. If Lane Kiffin doesn't decide to stay, I could see him just being like, screw both of you, I'm gonna stay at Ole Miss. But I think if he becomes available, like if he puts it out there, I'm available. I think it's a bidding war for Florida. And if you're Florida, what are you throwing 17, 18 at Lane Kiffin to try to keep him away from LSU? Is that the guy that can get you back to your glory days? Because I like Lane Kiffin. I think he's a good coach, but there is some things that I think he needs to get better at. Like yesterday, they hammered South Carolina, but it was eerie there for a minute there. I was like, is this gonna be a Lane Kiffin special? Everybody says they're in the playoff. They got an easy schedule. It's like, oh wait, they lose to South Carolina at home, but he got it back on track and they won the game pretty handily in the second half. But I don't know. Would he be your first call if you're Florida? Probably, yeah.
because like again. Oh, so like, all right, I'm gonna say this analogy. This could hit a little too close from home, right? But
Right.
all right, I'll start off with what is a big swing, right? What is a
Right.
big swing, right now in this landscape
Right.
of college football? And then I would say is teams that do make that big swing who drop a lot of money, condos in downtown LA, all our
Yeah.
coaching
Yeah.
staffs, right? And then
Yeah.
when you consider what he's doing now, you know, successful? Is it we
No.
just because we paid him so much money? It's like we just
Yeah.
need to see this out because we don't want to, we need to get to whenever his buyout can be less or whatever. Like he's doing just enough to squeak by.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's pros and cons to every move that you make. And obviously Lane Kiffin, in theory, he could be the sexy pick because he has proven to win in the SEC.
Yeah.
He's actually doing pretty solid now that the parity in college football is more level and he's winning 10 game seasons.
Right.
He's developing quarterbacks, which if you're able to get the money out and be able to get, keep DJ Lagway, does, Simmons come over with them? Does Chambliss, which I've had him in college football in 26. He's actually really good. He's really good too. Whoa.
Yeah.
He is fireworks, right? Like he's that good.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
But like, do you I guess the question is figuring out what direction do you want to go in? Do we retain as athletic department say we want DJ Lagway to be the face for at least another year or two, or do we just let this coach come in, be the CEO, and make the decisions, right? Because like you did already invest a lot of money in DJ, you invest a lot of money in these people.
Right.
So who's going to be that voice that can say, "Hey, no, trust me, I'm a proven winner"? Because you're going to need a proven winner at Florida because. Like you went with Billy Napier, who won at Louisiana Raging Cajuns, right?
Right.
And,
right. Yeah.
And it was good. Like it was a good program that he did, but it was also a group of 5. Like it was,
Right. Level, yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you can't go to another necessarily unproven entity.
Right.
But at the same time, how many proven entities are you with how college football is so even now? Like how you can't necessarily do that as much as you could have in the past.
Right. Well, and it's like, say they go in like North Texas coach or Tulane, like say Kiffin says no, or it's John Summerall from Tulane. Like, is your fan base going to be happy? You kind of just did that 4 years ago with Billy Napier. So that's I think Yeah, whatever big swing. I don't know what the actual definition of that would be, but I think it's got to be a big name. Like it's got to be like a Lane Kiffin or like an Eli Drinkwitz from Mizzou. I liked what's his name at SMU, Lashley, but they just extended him. Would they be able to pay the extension that he just got to buy him out too? So that would be a lot of money. But yeah, Florida I think has the potential to be a really good job. They haven't been able to find the right guy, and I don't know what that looks like. And unfortunately, I don't know if they know what that looks like.
Yeah. We'll talk about this a little bit once we kind of talk more about the opening jobs because I think I will have to. I got a good sell job for you that I
Okay.
want you to do for who I think could take this Florida job. Right. So that's a
Okay.
little teaser
Okay.
in the business. We call that a little
Okay.
teaser to,
I'm I'm intrigued. Yeah.
get you locked in here to stay, to keep around. We're having a good time. Nice little enjoy your coffee,
Yeah.
your
No.
coffee, depending on where you're at, part of the world. Um, so another job that I really like, that's interesting. It's really interesting. So we talked about Florida, we talked about Penn State, we talked about LSU, we talked a little about Penn State, we talked a little about Penn State, not too much about Penn State, but Virginia Tech, I think, is probably a really solid job. Obviously, you got the tradition, Enter Sandman. They're causing earthquakes out there. And, fans still show up. It's a loyal fan base. And as we kind of talked about a little bit, it's like the ACC is on the most rockiest of grounds, right? It's you don't really know who's going to just take this over. Like, if it was early in the season, we thought it was going to be Syracuse. It was going to be their conference to really take Syracuse, Miami, like those two teams. We was like, okay, like this should be a nice little. It should be fun.
Right.
Syracuse, when they lost their quarterback, they lost how to play football. They haven't been able to score points in weeks. And Miami just, they're blaming others and not taking accountability for being bad and losing to teams they probably shouldn't lose to. And so, especially with the amount of talent that they got there, like that team looked like it was ready to compete this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but I think Virginia Tech, again, I don't know what the money's looking like, but I do know who is leading that head coaching search. Arian Foster's, who's a Virginia Tech alumni, is helping lead that, leading that head coaching search. And that is good because Arian has been in the game for so long. And if he can offer you guidance to help with your coaching, offer private, coaching with him and Tom Moore, the legendary quarterback coach, to bring whoever quarterback you bring in, like, hey, you can call me whenever. Let's get these Hokies back on top where they should be. He's pledging to some of his old buddies to pledge money into the program to help field a better roster, to get a better left tackle, to get that electric wide receiver, get whatever they need. And we're seeing this more and more throughout college football. Ex-NFL players coming in, and you're going to need to have a GM now. So like, there's more opportunities for people who want to be an executive level to be a GM, whether not just in the college football, not NFL, but you're now in college football, to where maybe you can poach some NFL like senior pro guys, not Lombardi could do things, but
right.
Because he gives more opportunities for people who's been waiting for that call so long to be a general manager. Well, now I could be a general manager in college football, and there's way more opportunities to be a general manager if every team gets into that model now.
Oh yeah,
it's 100, 300 plus colleges. You know what I'm saying? Well, not all 300 get, will have GMs for the money wise, but like at least 126.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Virginia Tech really does interest me because I think they have good tradition. They have, and not a terrible area. Like Virginia DMV area is not a bad area. Not too far from Ohio as well. Right. It's a good medium point. Even if you try to bring from Florida, Georgia, like it's not that far. Right. So I like the Virginia Tech job a lot. I like that. That would probably might be my fourth best job.
Right. Well, it seems to be that there is a name that they've kind of circled too. It seems to be that could be James Franklin there. And it's like you can say what you want about James Franklin at Penn State, like he couldn't win big games, he couldn't beat Ohio State, he couldn't beat Michigan under Harbaugh, but it's like, who in the ACC is Ohio State? Who in the ACC is Michigan under Harbaugh? Miami acts like they are every year, and then November comes and they're already out of the playoff basically. So it's like he may not be able to win the big games. What are the big games in conference? Like Clemson's way down, and we'll see if Dabo hangs out there for much longer. Florida State's way down as well. They could be looking for a coach at the end of the season too. So
Dabo seems to be begging to be fired at this point.
He really
his
does.
press conferences are just insane. Like if you guys ever need something to put on in the background while you're trying to watch a Dabo Sweeney press conference. Because dude's just like, man,
right. He's like, if I get fired today, I get it. I'm like, dude, just
yeah. He's like, please fire me. I don't want to be here no more. Because maybe he wants to do the right thing, not leave Clemson, but he wants to go to Florida, or he wants to go to Arkansas, or maybe he wants to go to Virginia Tech. Maybe he wants to go to LSU and try a new challenge. I mean, obviously there was a lot of smoke around him in that Alabama job, but then he got a new contract. Right. But now it's like, I wouldn't want to. Hey, if you tell me you want to leave so bad, I'm not too mad at you leaving, because look at what the product we're putting out here. And especially when this is supposed to be the culmination of all the years we built Cade Klubnik up. And then Cade had a little down, but he had a really good up last year. And so now we want to build on that. And now he made another misstep, and now he's losing money. Every game he's losing money.
Oh, yeah. He's a day 3 NFL draft pick at this point.
But the thing is,
6th, 7th round, yeah.
He might still be a 4th round. Like, he might still be a 1st round pick, to be honest.
I don't 1st round pick. I'd be surprised.
Well, think about it. Who else is coming out?
Yeah, right? At this point,
teams who need quarterbacks. So again, he's obviously, it's not making it easy. Like, I think Lenore Sellis he'll probably come out and people will do the mental gymnastics to be able to get him number 1 overall because of his ability, his untapped potential.
Right. Yeah.
Cade and Lenore and Mendoza, Shy Simpson. Well, Shy Simpson probably should be our QB1. Honestly,
should be. Yeah, him or Mendoza would be probably my QB1. Yeah, I hear what you're saying with Sellers, and that's what you're going to hear is like, yeah, he's got the raw talent. He just hasn't been able to harness that raw talent. It's like we've heard that.
And it continues every year without repeat.
Every year.
You get the raw potential guy. You get the prototypical size guy. You know what I'm saying? You get the really smart quarterback guy who's like, but you should really watch for Jake Hayner in the league. You should really watch for this person in the league.
Right. No kidding.
Brock Purdy in the league.
Yeah. No, it's true. And yeah, this year, because I remember coming into this year, it's like, this could be a good quarterback year. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, especially like, obviously we talk NFL and other things, but like, if you're an NFL team that needs a quarterback, like,
it's time to double dip. And I think that's a good thing. This is a good for, like, in general, quarterback development, because I think, one, it's like, these quarterbacks need to come back. There's no rush. There should be no rush to go to the NFL. Listen, I'll give you $4 million. $4 million, and then you could take out a policy to make sure that if you any money lost,
you get hurt. Yeah, it's all
you're good.
No.
Then it's like this is opportunity for these quarterbacks that got pushed out so fast because these teams are so fast to try to win, turn around their programs. Now they got people who are trying. Obviously, now you're seeing the Bakers, your Carson Wentz's, your Sam Darnold's, get another chance at playing. Now let's see this next generation of guys get another chance at playing football. Your Zach Wilsons, your Trey Lances, it might be your Anthony Richardson, maybe in like 7 more years. Because he's still super young. Like, the dude's still like 22, 23.
Yeah.
So he's
more of a tight end, I think, at this point. But yeah, I hear you.
But like, you know what I mean? You're, if you're still on the train that
your Mac Joneses,
your McCorkle Joneses, why am I blanking on his name? He just got traded to the Cowboys.
Joe Milton.
If you're still a believer in Joe Milton, Bazooka Joe, right?
You just don't need him to hit an out route. If you want to just throw deep balls all game, he doesn't need to hit like a 10-yard out. Then you probably could get something out of him. But
exactly, your Malik Willis's, right?
Malik Willis, oh man, yeah. he played good last year in a couple of spots.
Yeah.
Played good last
He
week
looked
against
really
the
good for
Bears.
the Packers.
Yeah.
Who else?
Malik Willis looked good for the Packers. Yeah. That would be
Possibly a Shador Sanders.
your Shador Sanders, right? No kid.
Who else was Quinn Ewers? I mean, that's not a second chance because he didn't get a first chance yet.
Yeah, he didn't get a first chance.
Really.
Yeah, your Justin Fields, although I think he's gotten second and third chances here, so maybe that's kind of dead. But yeah, I think
Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah. But to get back to the Virginia Tech, I think that's a good job. I just think it's been, I mean, ever since Frank Beamer left, they haven't been able to find the right coach, and I don't think I've heard whispers, oh, go get Shane Beamer, go get his son. Like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Father and son, there's a difference there. Like Shane probably has his job because of his last name and because of Frank. That is why he has a job in the SEC as the head coach. Maybe not for much longer, but I think Franklin would be a slam dunk. I think it'd be really good because that conference is up for grabs. Like we all thought it was going to be Miami. Like I said, it's up for grabs. Like right now, I think the leaders of the conference right now are Georgia Tech and Virginia. Like I like Georgia Tech going into the season. I had no idea that Virginia. I thought Virginia would be who Virginia is. It's kind of a middle to bottom team. Louisville's next.
Elliott. What a guy!
Tony Elliott's doing a good job, and it's like they win. It's not pretty, but hey, that's all that matters. You just got to win on Saturdays, and that's how you keep your job. And now you're in the driver's seat to get to the ACC championship and get to a playoff spot. So, but they had a rough day yesterday. I know we kind of talked about it yesterday. The ACC, Georgia Tech and Miami going down. Say we can get into that a little bit later. We get to our reaction to yesterday, but that's what I'm saying. If you're James Franklin, you're kind of just like looking at this conference, like, hey, I was in the Big Ten with Ohio State and Michigan and then Oregon last year. It's like now I get to compete against a bad version of Clemson, whatever Miami wants to be on a week-to-week basis, and then whatever Florida State is. So it's like, just be like, hey, if I get Virginia Tech rolling, we could run this conference for a little bit, and I don't have to be big game James because there really isn't any big games. Like I'm just, I don't have to run up against Ohio State every year. It's like, yeah, there's no Ohio State in the ACC right now, and there may not be for a while.
All right, let's speed run through these last openings, and then we'll start pitching.
Okay.
Just give me a number 1 to 10.
Okay.
Arkansas Razorbacks.
Like 1 to 10, like how good of a job it is. Like 10's good. 5. I just think you're in the SEC. It's tough to be in the SEC as Arkansas, and like I just don't. Yeah, I'd go 5. I don't know. Too much competition and not enough buy-in there. Not enough. Yeah.
It's very poor.
Yeah.
Stanford.
3 at best. 3. Like you want to say not enough. They have money, and I think Andrew Luck's trying to change that and turn it around. But you're in the ACC, but you're on the other coast. I just think it's a weird fit there. Yeah, I would go 3.
I think there's one person I think who could probably take that job that might be interesting. Pep Hamilton, who's the offensive coordinator from Maryland right now.
Yeah.
He played with, because Andrew Luck is the general manager. He played with Andrew Luck.
Right.
There's a lot of ties there. I could see that happening.
Yeah, could happen. I could see that.
Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Ooh, 2. I think that program's broken. I think this last couple of years, and then they had their cash cow guy who was kind of funding a lot of their stuff. He passed away, T. Boone Pickens. So, and yeah, I would too. Luckily, they're in the Big 12, so you can kind of, it's like the ACC, you can rise up and be the team in that conference maybe if you can get the right guy, but it's bad. Like they may go another year without winning a conference game.
Yeah. I think Zach Robinson is probably the shoe-in. They need someone who has the ties to try to rebuild that belief that they could be a fun, exciting offense. Like that was what Oklahoma State used to always be. It's just a team that just was gunslinging and just super. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, Brandon Whedon. Who else was a quarterback there? Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
Was it Justin Blackman?
Was a wide receiver. Yeah. Justin Blackman. Des Bryant. Yeah. No, they had good pieces for a while, and that's like Gundy had that program rolling for a while, and then this last 5 years they just died.
They just need to be part of the air raid again. They just need to go part of it.
Yeah.
UCLA.
So, I mean, obviously, as a USC fan, I'd like to say a 0, but I'm not going to go that far. But I'll actually, their interim coaches, like Tim Skipper, who's the interim, and then Neuheisel. I think they get the job. Neuheisel, the offensive coordinator. I think they get the job. So I think that's pretty much done. I'd go a 4. It's a basketball school, and now you're in the Big Ten, so you're kind of at the bottom of the Big Ten. But there's some money there, and there's some opportunity there. So I'd probably go 4.
Yeah, there's some schools that just kind of profit of just being here. I'm just here, and UCLA and like Maryland and Northwestern, they're like, oh, I'm just
here for the party.
Because thanks for inviting me. I was just gonna chill at home. I was just gonna chill at home for this. Like, it was. I was nervous.
Pretty much.
Oh, Oregon State.
It's tough. Now it's the new Pac-12 starts next year, so whatever that is. 4. I feel bad for them in Washington State. They kind of got left out in the cold after everybody went to the Big 10, Big 12, ACC, and they got left out in the cold. They're starting a little mini conference with the Pac-12, so I would say 4. It's still just you're a group of 5 team forever now, which sucks for them.
I think honestly, I would give this a really high score, and here's the reason why. In terms of in my mind, I'm looking at it from the coach's perspective. This will be these are perfect stepping stone colleges to be able to rebuild the tier level, because you can experiment more if I want to go get a coach from Incarnate Word, or if I want to get the coach from Liberty Bibbity, right? I want to get those coaches that are a little bit unproven. They've proven themselves on a smaller stage, but like, hey, now like. This will be you get a couple more spotlight games on the CW, right? And
true.
Well, and it's like, okay, so if you can show that you win here, listen, we know we won't be able to retain you for long, but like you can help us get our prestige back to a winning status, and then go ahead and take that next Oregon job or the USC job when it comes available, or the Arizona State job or Arizona job if that were to come available, or I'm saying the next big thing.
Right. Yeah, I think that's all it probably will be for a while. Is just a stepping stone job. So it's like, hey, he was the Oregon State coach for a couple of years, and then boom, now all of a sudden he's at Washington or something like that. Yeah,
because Jonathan Smith did a really good job there, and just to be like they have like the fundamental team that's like similar to like a Utah team, right, where you just know that they're going to play fury, really good defense. They're going to be tough to play. You just don't know what they're going to come on offense. Like they're kind of like that Iowa, the old school Iowa, the Utah's type beat. But now Michigan State is just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he can go back.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Can he still work? And then the last one is Colorado State.
Yeah, I think they're going into the Pac-12 with Oregon. I think it's like Oregon State, Washington State, Boise State, San Diego State. So I mean Fresno State. So that's not bad. That's not a bad. It's like probably a top better tier group of 5. But Colorado State, I would say. I mean, it'd be about 5. Just another stepping stone job. You could do well there. You can pop up on the screen. Maybe make a run at the playoff as the group of 5 team. Then boom, you can get the job at Colorado or something when Dion gets fired or resigns, or you can get the job at BYU or Texas Tech or something like that. You can jump up to the Big 12. Maybe not Texas Tech. I think McGuire's going to be there for a while, but Baylor or something like that. So yeah, I think it'd be the same kind of Oregon State, just a stepping stone job. A good school for like the group of 5 when you get them going, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. Let's pitch. Right, we're not talking Shohei Ohtani. You're not talking about no Yakamoto last night. We're talking about let's pitch some of these universities head coaching candidate, right? And so I want to go first, right? I want to go first. I want to set the stage here because maybe people might not be thinking about this coach, right? He might not be on the first person we think about. But if we want to follow a method, and if you want to try to zig a little bit when everyone's zagging, you want to try to maybe find someone that's a little not say unconventional per se, but like a little different. But I think it could yield results. Obviously, everyone is in awe with Indiana right now. Indiana is balling. And it makes sense. I was like, okay, obviously this guy has won where everywhere he's been at, but people for some reason just didn't notice him. They didn't talk about him. And then Kurt Signetti gets his opportunity at Indiana because Indiana decided, hey, like this guy makes too much sense, and now he's changing over this program. Indiana's the number 2 team in the country right now. They just dog walk Maryland. I mean, actually,
yeah, they dog walk everyone. It seems like just every week. Yeah.
So, and I think specifically for these 2 programs,
okay,
LSU and Florida.
Okay.
Willie Fritz of Houston makes so much sense to take these jobs, right? He's 65 years old. He's older. He's been around.
Older, yeah.
He's obviously anybody trying to go Coach O again, right? He would be your last resort. Well, but so Willie Fritz coached at Southern Miss for 2 years. I mean, Georgia Southern. Then he was at Tulane for just about maybe 8 years or so.
Yeah.
8-9 years.
Got the Louisiana connection though, yeah.
The Louisiana connection, the Georgia connection. And then he's at Houston the last 2 years. So that's Texas, that's Louisiana, and that's Georgia. And if you're LSU, he has those pipelines already coming in, and he's won in different states and a good brand of football. Like an older coach who's seen it all and can really instill a system and to really turn a program around. I think Willie Fritz would be might be a little hesitant to do, but I think he could be that zig, right? That really could be like, you know what, you might not be excited right away, but then all of a sudden you start seeing a good brand of football each and every single week. You see the stepping stones that the team are making every single week, and you're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the brand of football that LSU should be playing. This is the brand of football that Florida should be playing. And he's going to get the right people in your program, and it's going to be fun, and you're going to start winning. Because, the only thing that matters is winning, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Start winning. And that's my pitch for Willie Fritz right there.
Willie Fritz. Okay. The age thing is probably my only like hesitation, because 65 and like, do you have the energy still for an LSU or Florida job? Because that's a lot of long days, long hours. Houston, I mean, they just lost yesterday, but he's done a lot with this program this year, more than I thought they would. Like they're in the Big 12 hunt, and I didn't think that would be a case like right away. And then the Tulane connection. So you got the LSU, the Louisiana connection. So I mean, maybe not the first guy you call, but like if Lane says no, if Eli says no, maybe that's your next call. It's not a bad idea. He seems to. I mean, he just got to Houston 2 years ago when he was 63, so he seems to he wants to stay in the game for a while. So I'm okay with that. I got one for Penn State, but I'm okay with Willie Fritz. I think that would be like you said, LSU fans probably wouldn't be happy about that hire, but it'd probably be a better hire than trying to make a big swing for someone and then all of a sudden it flops.
Exactly.
Like you just did with Brian Kelly. So yeah, maybe.
Okay, what you got? What you got?
All right, so my pitch is for the Penn State job. So Penn State, like, what's their problem been the last, I don't know, whatever, 10 years with James Franklin? You can't win big games. You can't win big games against, but it's like you're still 10-2 every year. You're still 9-3 every year. You're right outside the playoff. But like a lot of people keep saying, like, oh, go get Lane Kiffin, go get you get these guys from the SEC. It's like, but they don't have any. When I think Penn State's an old school university, they're going to want someone that knows the conference, that knows the area, knows these kind of places. So going a little bit off, this guy is a current Big Ten coach, but a little bit off the beaten path. I'm going with PJ Fleck.
Whoa, for Penn State?
For Penn State, think about this. He's been at Minnesota for 9 seasons.
Has it been 9 seasons already?
He's been there 9 seasons. They just won their 6th game. He's made a bowl 7 out of 9 seasons. So he knows the situation. He knows the conference. He's won. I mean, to win at Minnesota's not a good program, and he's won 9 games. He won 9 games 3 times there. He went 11-2 in 2019 at Minnesota. That's really good. So it's like He knows the conference. He knows he's not Ohio State. And so it's like Penn State, like you got to quit kidding yourself. You're not Ohio State. But this is a guy that can keep your program on the tracks. Like you can bring a guy in there that's going to replace James Franklin, and this can get off the tracks real quick. You think this guy's a big slam dunk hire, and all of a sudden you're not the third or fourth best team in the Big Ten. You're like the eighth or ninth best team in the Big Ten. So I think PJ Fleck can come in there. He's got a philosophy. They're a tough physical team. That's what Penn State tries to pride themselves on. He knows, like I said, he knows the conference. He's won at a lower level. And maybe he's younger. He's only 44. He can have that energy. Now you can recruit at Penn State. Minnesota, you can only really recruit a little bit. Like you're getting 3 stars. That's just what it is.
But you're developing, then that's the key.
But you're developing. Now he can get 4 and 5 stars at Penn State and develop them.
Oof, yeah.
I'm saying, wow. I think they're gonna probably swing for big jobs. I think Hartline ends up being the coach. That would be my prediction. Okay. I think he ends up being the coach. But like, is PJ Fleck, is Manny Diaz a better hire? Is Matt Campbell a better hire?
Ooh.
I don't think so. So I don't know. Flex, he's young. He's still got the energy. I think he's been up for some big jobs in the past, but people are like, he's a Minnesota coach. Like that's, But if you look at his resume, like I said, 7 out of 9 seasons at Minnesota, you make a bowl game because they're making a bowl game this year. They just won their 6th game. You have 3 9-win seasons and 11-win season one time. You're familiar with the conference. With the Wisconsins and the Iowas, you can beat them. You can beat them. And then, you take these 3 stars and you get them to play well and win decent games. Now you get 4 or 5 stars. Maybe you can develop them even more, and you can compete with the Ohio States. And it's like, if you look at the Big Ten right now, it's Ohio State and Indiana, the clear top 2 right now. But how long is Indiana and Kirk Cincinnati going to stay at the top? Because this is uncharted territory for them. Like, they've never been up there. And I'm not sure if Michigan has the right coach. I'm not even sure if my team, USC, has the right coach. And then Oregon, I think Oregon's good, and I like Dan Lanning, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if they're going to be there every year. So it's like, it's really just kind of Ohio State and everybody else, in my opinion, because I'm not sure if Indiana is going to be able to stay at the top. So you get a guy like PJ Fleck who knows the conference, who can win games, can develop players. Maybe that helps you get to the next level.
So you're fully rowing the boat.
Rowing the boat. Hey, row the boat. You can row the boat at Happy Valley on a whiteout. You can do it. Like I said, it's probably not going to be their first, second, or third call. Just like Willie Fritz probably wouldn't be for LSU, but it's a guy that you can still win games with. He's not going to be a train wreck. Like he's still going to win games.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to pitch. Okay, there's 2 more people that I'm like, I'm very interested in. I'm like, I think could be big hits, right? So I'm gonna go. I don't know which one between. It's really 4. I'm trying to keep it short, but Fran Brown, man, I love Fran Brown so much. And Fran Brown in Florida makes too much sense to me. I know Fran Brown is a New York guy, so obviously he loves it in Syracuse, right? And I think he wants to stay. He wants to build Syracuse up to be a powerhouse in ACC because he sees that what the challenge is. He's recruited at Georgia. He knows how to recruit. Like he knows how to recruit for the SEC. He knows how to get big talent. And he has the personality, I think, that really can suit what Florida wants to be and who Florida currently is now. He's hard-nosed, he's old school, but he understands the youth. He wants to help them get through to these kids. And I just think Fran Brown in Florida makes way too much sense, right? To where it's like, hey, like I only have enough money to bring in 1 quarterback for this year that can be quality. And now if he's gone and gets hurt, then it's like, what's happening? We can't put up a point. Like we can't score points at all, right? We had all our eggs in this one basket. Well, now if you go to Florida, you could have 4 quarterbacks that are solid on you, and you can have 2 quarterbacks to play this year if you needed to, if something were to happen. I think, and he will recruit his butt off at Florida. Like he knows how to recruit. And Fran Brown in Florida makes way too much sense to me. Way too much sense.
That'd be interesting. Well, this is what his second year at Syracuse, or is it third? The second year.
Second year.
Yeah, had a good first year with
Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord at quarterback. This year they were doing well with Angeli until he got hurt, and now it's just kind of wheels have come off. He's got the connections because he was at Georgia, so you got like the Southern connections. I don't know. It could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know too much about Fran Brown, but yeah, I can tell just by his intensity that he loves to recruit. So I think he'll definitely recruit, like you said, recruit the hell out of Florida. But I don't think that's the issue. I think Florida, like the recruiting's okay. It's like can he coach on Saturdays? Is the
Yeah.
big thing because I think that was Napier's problem. Like Napier recruited fine, he just couldn't coach on Saturdays. It was like you couldn't, or you include these random games to like a South Florida, or you just get hammered by Miami 2 years in a row. It's like I don't know. But Florida has guys that are going to be playing in the NFL. Like there's guys on that roster that'll be playing in the NFL in a couple of years, maybe even DJ Lagway's in the NFL in a couple of years. But I don't know. I think the recruiting part is definitely a big thing. I think they want someone in there that can recruit, but can they actually coach on Sundays is a huge question mark for me.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I don't have any other pitch jobs right now for a coach, other than like obvious ones. Like my only other one I would think about maybe, but I just don't know about his ties to the South would be for Florida because I think he's doing a pretty good job at Arizona State would be Kenny Dillingham, but that's a weird fit. Like he's an Arizona State alumni. He's from the West Coast. I think he bounced around, and I think he was in the SEC for a minute, and then he coached under Dan Lanning for a year at Oregon. But I don't know. I feel that'd be a weird fit. So I don't know if that would totally work. I think he would recruit well. I think he's young with good energy, but I don't know. So I don't know if he would do. I don't know if that'd be a great fit. So I don't have too much of a pitch for him.
I mean, Alex Golish makes a lot of sense at Florida. You beat him,
Yeah, for
and
South
you're
Florida.
still you're South Florida, so it's like pretty much you could bring a lot of those exciting guys, and he can. I mean, he's a really good scheme guy. So it's like,
oh yeah,
he can run a system. I mean, could Tony Elliott at Virginia get possibly
talk about a rise, man?
Because he would be. I mean, honestly, he was one of the main cogs in that Clemson offense. When he was a co-offensive coordinator under Clemson for so many years, right. And so like ever since he left. Like he honestly, the offense just hasn't been the same, to be honest with you, for multiple years and for the developing of quarterbacks. So could Tony Elliott kind of sneak in and get maybe obviously Virginia is a good spot where he's at right now, but like it will have to be the top 3 jobs. Penn State, Florida, LSU. Yeah. You know, so that would be interesting if you can really entice him to go. But my last pitch, here's another small school guy, right? Again, if you're a part of the mind of thinking outside of the box and taking those big swings for hopefully a giant top of the 9th inning home run. Bob Chesney of James Madison University. He's only been there for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But as a head coach, he's 126-51 and 15-5 at JMU. He's 6-1 right now. I think he's 6-1. I don't know if they won yesterday.
I think they won yesterday. Yeah,
7-1 now. So
yeah, they ruled the Sun Belt. That's pretty.
Top of the Sun Belt. He was at Holy Cross until he was at Holy Cross for like 13 years, and won there, and really kind of just really kind of transformed. I mean, obviously following Kurt Cignetti. Is James Madison? Are they the pipeline? Is James Madison the pipeline to bring in young? I want to say young, but novice in a sense. Head coach? You can't even say novice, but like, is it the new head coaching pipeline to get your start at James Madison and then be the stepping stone to go to a bigger program? So that would be something interesting. I could see him. I mean, Virginia Tech would make sense, not going too far.
Arkansas.
Penn State would be. I think that Penn State job might be too big.
I think that's too big of a jump. I think that's why I'd say Virginia Tech, maybe Arkansas, Auburn. Maybe even if Auburn comes available, because I think Auburn's a step down from the big three right now.
Probably, if you're talking just solely on the coaching jobs that we just mentioned, I would probably say the best job for him would be maybe the Oregon State job.
That's a big move though. He's going across the country. I mean, that would be is that an upgrade though? Is Oregon State that big of an upgrade over James Madison? I know, like maybe a small upgrade,
But
maybe
I would.
Oklahoma
Would you want to go
State.
to
Yeah,
Arkansas though?
and I mean, they, you got better resources. You're in the SEC. There's supposed to be some sort of like money there, but I don't know what that situation looks like because they just give a bunch of money to Calipari to coach basketball, so they're going to invest in the football program. I don't know,
So
but
if that's the case, then for sure. But
yeah,
then you're gonna have to deal with Petrino snaking you, trying to talk about
right.
your craziness. So it's
Now I
like,
would get Petrino the furthest away from there. And he just lost two in a row. He's not getting that job now. Lost to Mississippi State, and then they lost to Auburn last week, so he's not getting that job. But I would be like, Petrino's not welcome in this building. Take his key card, tell him tell him to go back to Liberty or whatever he wants to go to, or go coach at some smaller school. I would get him as far away. And I'm kind of happy, a little bit happy for Arkansas that Petrino's not turning it because it's like that would be so bad to just get Petrino back in there. It's like you guys not learn your lesson. Like he's not a good.
but that also could just be how bad of the program is in terms of
Yeah,
just
it's true
like,
as
hey,
well.
we don't have the money to really go out and compete with a lot of these people to entice someone to make this move here, and we don't know
Yeah.
if we can do this. Actually,
The,
go
the
ahead.
bummer is I like Taylor Green too. He's a good quarterback. It seems like they have like he's got decent talent. But yeah, no, if I was Chesney, I think Virginia Tech would be a good one because you're kind of in that similar. Where is JMU? JMU is it North Carolina or is it in
Virginia,
Virginia? Yeah,
Virginia.
so you're in Virginia, so you know the lay of the land a little bit. So I think that if it sounds like James Franklin's kind of like James Franklin to Virginia Tech. It's not a slam dunk, but it's pretty close. But if that's not the case, that would be a decent hire. I mean, look what Signetti's doing. I know he's not Signetti, but maybe you can kind of just go back to the JMU well and see what happens.
Hold on. I'm trying to look at. This is not the
Do we want to get to any reactions from yesterday at all?
Yes, we will
Okay.
wrap this up.
Okay.
But last Southern Miss head coach, I think he will be because let me get his name. I just want to make sure I get his name right because he deserves so much credit. Charles Huff. He was the head coach at Marshall last year. He left, and all of his players left and went to the portal when he left, and he turned Marshall around. And then in 1 year, when Southern Miss was at the bottom of the Sun Belt, he has turned them around, and he's top of the Sun Belt West, I
Right.
think.
I think didn't he beat Notre Dame at Marshall? Was
Yes.
he the coach when they went into Notre Dame and beat them?
No, that was Southern Illinois, Northern
No, it was
Illinois.
Northern Illinois did it last year, but I think it was like 2 years ago. Marshall went into Notre Dame and won. I don't know if he was the coach then, but because I
Yeah,
know
he
it was
was
back to
there.
back years.
He was at
Yeah,
Marshall for a while before then. So
yeah,
yeah, he's turned around this program, and he's a great coach. And Charles Huff will get his day. Will it be this year? But he deserves credit for how he's turned the program around. How literally when he left, the players left with him. His players were willing to go with him.
right. That's huge. Yeah,
Going to LSU, I don't know. That's a big jump. Southern Miss to LSU is a big jump.
yeah.
I
That's a,
get
that
it.
that would probably be more of like the tier two ones, like in Arkansas or
Right.
maybe not
Which I mean,
Virginia.
he would be a
Oklahoma
great
State.
Arkansas hire. That would
Yeah,
be a great Charles Huff will be a knock it out of the park Arkansas hire
yeah.
because of the fact he's able to win at Marshall is not like West Virginia, not a great state. Southern
No,
Miss
not for
also
talent.
not
Yeah,
a great state, but
right.
like kind of I don't want to disrespect him too much, but not the most cash flow rich
No, yeah, yeah,
states, right? So it's like then you go to Arkansas, SEC with
yeah.
those resources, and you maybe to get a little bit more leans.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I think either one of those. Even Oklahoma State wouldn't be a bad job because it's a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe you can get in there and figure things out in the Big 12 because Big 12 is kind of up for grabs. I think Texas Tech and I think BYU and you. I don't know about Utah. It depends on how long Whittingham sticks around, but I think BYU could be up there for a while. They got a lot of money as well. But yeah, That's a name I did not have on my radar, so that's a good one.
So let's talk about. We'll get our review in. Is this loss for Georgia Tech yesterday? Is it damning for their college football playoff run, or do you think they still have legs?
They still have legs because I think they're still like second or third in the ACC. The problem for them is they got Georgia at the end of the year, which is probably a loss. So they probably will
I
be
wouldn't.
two
I wouldn't.
losses.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that
I
because
say that's why I said probably. Probably, but yeah, there's not definitive loss. But I think that's at Georgia Tech, or they're doing neutral in Atlanta or something like that, which is
I think
still
this
more
year is
Georgia
a
Tech.
neutral site game.
Yeah, but I think they're still in. If I go to the standings, I think they're tied for second in the ACC. I thought I was looking at this earlier today. Let's see here. Yeah, they're tied for second. So Virginia's in first place and Georgia Tech's in second place. So they're still in the driver's seat. And if obviously you win the conference, you're in the playoff. And would they be afraid of Georgia? Would they be afraid of Virginia now? So I think there's still legs. And even if they lose to Georgia, that's not a conference loss, so they could still get to the ACC championship game. So there's still legs. I don't know. You get 400 yards of offense from Haynes King yesterday, and you still can't win. Like that was rough. But I
Remember the
still think they
name
have legs. Yeah,
C.J. Bailey. I've been shouting his name from the rooftop since the beginning of the season. A lot of NC State Wolfpack fans been telling about C.J. Bailey last year. I'm like, bro, I ain't seen nothing from this kid. But he was a true
right.
freshman when he came in, taking over
He
for
was.
McCall. So then I started watching. Okay, I see the arm. I see he's 6'6". He can move, right?
Big guy.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, and I started watching him play. Dude is electric. He was the only reason why they were winning games. They got
Right.
Hollywood Smothers, who I think is a really good running back as well. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if they would still had Casey Concepcion, he would have had another
That would have been
weapon to
huge.
really
Yeah.
be good, you know. But
Yeah.
someone's gonna throw a massive bag at
Oh
CJ
yeah.
Bailey this
Oh yeah.
offseason.
Oh yeah.
And I cannot wait for it. I want him to stay at North Carolina State because I want to go see him play in person
Right.
locally. But like, I'm not gonna be like, be mad because I think he's going to be he's going to be a first round draft pick when his time comes at 27, 28, whenever he decides to leave.
I think they beat Virginia too. So it's like they beat the two best teams right now in the ACC. Yeah. No, I think he'll. I mean, see what NC State can pull out and see what they got and call up their boosters and get some kind of money. But yeah, he'll get some large offers probably from some SEC teams, maybe a couple Big Ten teams to get him over there.
Yeah. Let's talk about another upset. Is Holy crap, the game's already started. Charlie Jones, 98-yard touchdown, kickoff return. Is the Vandy hype train dead? Are Vandy Fugazi? Did we believe in Diego a little too much?
Ah, I mean they kind of came back in garbage time yesterday and made the game look better than it was because they were getting dominated for most of the game.
It was a nasty game to watch.
Yeah, they got Auburn at home next week. A week after that, it's Kentucky at home, and then and then there's a bye in there somewhere, and then they finish with Tennessee at Tennessee. I mean they're 7-2, so they're still technically alive, but they're also still Vandy. So I think that the hype train I think it's slowing down right now. And Diego hasn't played well. Like they won last week against Mizzou. He wasn't good in that game. And yesterday he was not good until late. Like I said, and the game was pretty much out of hand, and they got a lot of garbage points. They almost came all the way back and got the onside kick. And
Yeah.
Texas kind of messed around a little bit too much. But I still think, I mean, if you're Vanderbilt sitting at 7-2, like when's the last time you were 7-2? So you're still going to take
When's
it.
the last time you've been to a bowl game?
But exactly. So okay, you're going to take it. You're probably beating Auburn next week. You probably could beat Auburn in Kentucky. So 9-win season. That's still really good. And I mean Tennessee's definitely beatable. So you can still maybe get to 10-2. So I think the hype train slowed down, but I wouldn't say it's completely derailed yet. There's still some hope.
I just thought their defense was so bad. Like the amount
It
of
was
missed
bad.
tackles was just
Oh, it was
so
bad.
bad. But don't get me
And
wrong,
this
I'll
isn't
give
a
Coach
good.
Leah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach Leah has done a great job at Vanderbilt.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I would
Well,
give
it's
him.
not a good Texas offense. They just got carved up by. It's like this is a bad offense too. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't good. But like I said, I still think there's hope, and I still think. I mean, Clark Lee. That's still a really good job he's done this year. Maybe he's on some boards for LSU or Florida. Or does Penn State go back to the Vanderbilt well, like they did with James Franklin, and try to get another Vanderbilt coach? I don't know, but I
That would
still think
actually be freaking hilarious.
that would be funny. That would be funny. It's like, oh, he's just Vanderbilt's just a pipeline for Penn State
Yes.
coaches at this point.
Speaking of pipeline, right? Obviously, we didn't talk about the SMU coach, and I think he's also going to be getting a lot of love, which
He got an
is
extension on Friday, so I think he was getting some love, and so because
ooh,
I low key liked him for the Florida job, but
yeah, that offense.
Lashley, yeah, as the coach,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
I mean their offense is fun.
Brett,
They still don't
Brett.
play great defense, yeah, but yeah, did they? I mean, you were talking about playoff chances being done for Georgia Tech. Is Miami done? Because Miami now is like fifth place in the ACC, so they might not even make the championship game.
Yeah, yeah. That was a bad loss. That was such a bad loss yesterday. And then it's just like, I think I'm officially all the way off of the Carson Beck train.
Yeah,
And I was shouting it from the rooftops last year or 2 years ago. Last year was like, oh, Carson Beck. And then now I'm like,
right.
because like it's just disgraceful, bro. That press conference was so disgraceful. I would literally bench him. It might be strong, but it's like this is the second time to where this is why this like, you wonder why like there were so many people who didn't like him at Georgia because like there's teammates didn't like him, and it's
Right.
you're seeing why because he's throwing his coaches under the bus, he's throwing his players under the bus, talking about this is what they call it. They just called this play like I just did what they told me to do, and so it's like dude, you are going to be the face of a team if you were to get drafted. Like, if you just
Right.
shut the heck up, you probably still will go top, maybe second round, right?
Right.
Like, he
Yeah.
still might. This still might be. Again, he's going to be that quarterback who has the prototypical size, very accurate, decent arm,
Right.
okay processor, right? You break down his advanced stats, and he's like, if you really look at his tape, if you grind the Carson Beck tape, look, let's go back when
Right.
he had actually good talent around him, and then they're going to just
Right.
talk about just the 2023 tape, and they're not going to look
Right.
at everything else, right? And then it's just
Right.
like if you could and then but he also had the opportunity to where they were flying high so early, and if they would have kept this throughout the whole season, he would have easily been a lock. It could have been Ty Simpson, Carson Beck competing, and Lenore Sellers 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And Cade
Yeah.
Cup. If we had the year that we were supposed to have, it could have been
Right.
Carson Beck, Cade, Lenore
Right.
Sellers, Ty Simpson going 1, 2,
Ty
3,
Simpson.
4,
Yeah.
or some
Yeah.
variation, right? And
Right.
but Carson Beck is throwing this team, his coaches under the bus. Like, we bought you here, we paid you all this money, and you're gonna
Right.
be saying this in press conference because you're mad?
Right.
This is
Throwing
why
4
people
picks against
want to look.
Louisville. Yeah. Uh,
It's
yeah. No,
frustrating.
it's frustrating, and I think more than the play on the field, that press conference will hurt him more in the NFL draft. Because
Exactly.
GMs and coaches are going to look at that, and that they're going to ask him about that stuff at the combine and crap like that. So that's because I mean, like for the most part, he's a solid college quarterback. Like I still think his decision making is questionable a lot of the times, and I think he thinks he's got a bigger arm than he actually does, and tries to make throws that maybe he can't exactly make. But yeah, that you can't be throwing your coaches on the bus. You can't be throwing your teammates on the bus. Like when you were brought in as like the mercenary for this team, like you were the mercenary. Like we're gonna pay you 4 million. We want you to get us back to the playoff, get Miami back on track, and then like no, and now you're the one that's throwing interceptions in overtime, but then pointing at your coaches. So it's like yeah, bad luck for them, bad luck for the program. Because I mean early on in the season I was kind of drinking the Miami Kool-Aid a little bit. I was like this they're one of the best 5-6 teams in the country. And now it's like another year where the ACC is not good. Clemson is not a great team, and you're going to probably miss the playoff again. And it's like all you had to do was beat Louisville at home to get to the playoff, and you couldn't do it. And it's
Mhm.
just like, yeah, I think it's. I've never been a big Cristobal fan. I think he can recruit really well, but he is one of the worst Saturday game coaches out there. And it's like his talent makes up for like yeah, like what's the guy? What's the defensive end Ruben Bain? Like what is that? That guy's a top 5 pick.
Oh yeah.
He's a stud, and he's got studs all over the field. And then last year you had Cam Ward. You had Cam Ward last year, and you guys couldn't even win the ACC. You couldn't even get to the ACC championship game with Cam Ward. Uh,
Fumbled at the
Poor
one.
fumbled at the one. Yeah, yeah. So Miami now because they're kind of out of the conference championship race right now. So I don't see them getting to the playoff. And I think back-to-back years where the ACC is not a good conference and you can't even get to the championship game. That's pretty bad.
Let me ask you this fun question, and I'll let you ask any questions that you may want to talk about, and
Okay.
we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
Who do you have more faith in going into November, December? And what team do you have more faith in going into November and December? Indiana or Ole Miss?
Uh, both of them have a cake schedule for the rest of the year, so both of them should theoretically win out. Um, I'm gonna go with Indiana
Okay.
just because Indiana they're undefeated. What we've seen from Signetti is like he can like when he's supposed to win games, he wins those games. He usually wins them pretty comfortably. I love Lane Kiffin, but he is kind of classic sometimes for like like last year they went to Florida. Florida was not a great team. They were playing well at the time, and then they lose, and you're out of the playoff. And so, or you lose at home to Kentucky last year. He's a guy that game's still in him. That D effort from the team and from him is in him. So I'm gonna go with Indiana just because what I've seen from them this year, they've basically dominated everybody, and that's including Oregon. They've dominated everybody they've played. So I'm gonna go with Indiana.
I'm going to go with. I'm actually going to go with Ole Miss, and here's why. Indiana. I mean, even I think Indiana will be able to sustain a loss, and most likely that loss will be Ohio State
Right.
in the Big Ten championship game.
Hmm.
So they'll be able to get that loss. But then, do you want to go into the college football playoff with a loss when you're riding high, and then that just tanks your season, right? Ole Miss currently is fourth in the SEC. They could comfortably not be in that SEC championship game.
I don't think they want to be in it. I think
Exactly.
Lane Kiffin's totally fine with missing it. Yeah.
Miss the SEC championship game. Keep your
Right.
team hot, ready to go. Possibly host a first round game. I don't know where they'll
They'd
land.
probably they'd probably get a top because you just have to be a top 18. They'd be a top 18. That's why they'd be hosting a first
So
round
you get
playoff
a
game.
game
Yeah.
in Mississippi that will be a lot of
Right.
fun. I think they play really well there. So they'll probably wind up getting like I don't even know who's the top 25 team. Let me see. Let me go out the SEC.
They get like Oregon,
Oof.
Notre Dame come down to Mississippi. Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
that would be
Yeah.
fun. But like again, I just think that like if we're talking offense for offense, band for band, I have like a little bit more faith in Ole Miss, just like, but it's like such a smidge, right? Like it's
Right.
like the smallest bit more, just because of
Right.
like I just saw how good Lane Kiffin was against Georgia. Man, obviously Georgia's defense is dog shit, to be honest with you. So maybe it's not the best indicator, but he called such a great game until he didn't, and so. I think if they can get through the season unscathed, I think they'll be really scary.
They
I
will be.
think they'll be really scary.
I just think like so it's funny with Indiana. Like I think if this same Indiana team was doing this, but they had Michigan uniforms, I think everybody'd be buying it. I think it's just the Indiana part of it that's hard to buy because you're like this is Indiana. They've never been good at football. They used to be good at basketball. It's like that they're technically a basketball school, but it's like we've never seen them. And then even last year, like they had a good year, but anytime they played a decent team, they played a good team. Ohio State rolls them, Notre Dame rolls them. So it's like we haven't seen Indiana like get to this level yet. So I think it's just the logo for I think most people it's like they can't get past Indiana. I think they're a good team. The Big Ten this year, the schedule thing in the Big Ten has kind of been soft, especially their schedule. Like outside of going to Oregon, their next biggest game was Illinois at home, I think, and they beat Illinois by I think 50 at home. So it's like they've kind of lucked out the last couple of years where they haven't had a hard schedule. And they don't play Ohio State this year, so they'll probably play them in the Big Ten title game. But I think Mendoza is better than Rorick last year, so I think they're a better team than what they were last year. It's just, yeah, it's tough to kind of get over the Indiana of it all.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is that their closest wins were against Iowa.
Iowa, yeah, on the road, yeah.
And Old Dominion.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, it's weird. That's why I'm saying like their out of conference schedule was, I think it's like Indiana State, Old Dominion, and somebody else. It's awful.
State.
Yeah, it's awful. It's just a terrible like out of conference schedule. So it's like the thing I would be worried about in Indiana is if they do go to the Big Ten championship game and you just get hammered by Ohio State like you did last year. Do they have the schedule that helps them win these big games? Because it's like, what was their tough game this year outside of going to Oregon, which is a really good win, but I don't know how good is Oregon. So yeah, I think where it's like at least Ole Miss, you could be like, okay, well, Ole Miss played LSU, they played at Georgia, they played at Oklahoma, so they've played in some big games. Their out of conference schedule is still pretty bad too. But I have one question for you too. Perfect. So if you're ready for that,
I'm always ready. Let's go.
Can the Big 12 get 2 playoff teams? So BYU and Texas Tech are 10 and 13 right now. That'll probably change because 3 top 10 teams lost yesterday: Miami, Vandy, and who else was another top 10 team that lost yesterday? But they'll probably both move up. So those could be 2 top 10 teams. But these two, they play each other next week. So Texas Tech and BYU play each other at Texas Tech. So they kind of have to split it. And if they split it, Texas Tech has got to win the first and lose the second to get there. And then Utah is still kind of like around. They hammered Cincinnati last night. Houston lost again, so Houston's probably done. But it had to be Texas Tech, BYU, or Utah.
So you think 2? Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So BYU's 8-0, Texas 8-1.
Right.
But obviously their losses in conference. Cincinnati 7-2, 5-1 in conference, and then Houston's 4-2 in conference, and Utah's 4-2 in conference.
Right.
So BYU, and you said BYU and Texas Tech play each other.
They play each other this coming up week. So yeah, at Texas Tech. So it's like if you could split it, like I think in a perfect world, the Big 12 would need it. Texas Tech wins this Saturday. BYU wins
championship,
the conference championship.
But would you rather have it? So let's say BYU wins, right? But they lose the conference championship. Would you? Because like you would still, Texas Tech will still get that automatic bid
if they win the conference championship. So that's the thing. It's like if Texas Tech wins both, does a 10-2 BYU with 2 losses get in? 2 losses to Texas Tech. And
I mean, because that's a quality loss, right? So that
would
be
a quality loss.
So that I don't think that would affect them that much, but to lose to them twice does suck. But let's see who else have they beaten. They have beaten a ranked Utah when they were ranked 23rd.
So yeah, they beat a ranked Utah.
They beat Arizona, who's like a tough team to play.
Yeah.
They beat West Virginia, but West Virginia just beat Houston, which is a team that beat your conference team. They barely
play Cincinnati at the end of the year, so they get a win there.
So yeah, I mean, if they lose to Texas Tech, beat Cincinnati, and lose in the conference championship game, I think that's enough to get into the college football playoff. Because
I think so too.
That would be another ranked team to win, and no one really had BYU going. But I think like what group of 5 team is going to be that 12th, that automatic qualifier?
Memphis, maybe USF.
Oh yeah, Memphis, probably
yeah. But I mean, yeah, like you said, there's no slam dunk there either. So I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and then the ACC, like say you get the ACC and it's a 10-2 Georgia Tech team that just lost to Georgia versus an 11-1 Virginia team. Georgia Tech beats Virginia. Virginia's 11-2.
Did the ACC get 4 teams?
I don't think could they get 3. I don't know. Because Miami's not getting
in the right direction, right? They won yesterday, right?
Huh?
They beat the shit out of. Oh, they beat Stanford and they beat NC State.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at the quality wins, I mean, the quality win at the time would be beating Florida State when they were
At the time,
ranked.
yeah, when they were ranked. That's what I'm saying. It's like, does an 11-2, and does
Ooh,
Miami get in at 10-2 with not making the conference championship game? I don't think so.
they might get that nudge just because of like
Right?
they
Because the
might
Notre
get
Dame win.
yeah, but especially if Notre Dame is in the field. And the
That's
thing
the
is,
thing. Is like you can't put Notre Dame in above them.
Pitt, they don't have a quality. I mean, their only quality win would be is their only quality win is Florida State, and that's not even you can't really hang your hat on that. Um,
No.
so and who they played this week? They don't have a game this.
Well, and that's like it's so weird in the ACC. Like none of them actually play each other down the stretch. I don't know how that happened. Like how they were able to like work the schedule when none of these guys play each other down the stretch. But like Louisville's still alive. Like does a 10-2 Louisville team make the playoff? I don't know.
Because the
It
thing is
depends
with
how many. Yeah.
Pitt has some really good differentials: plus 52, plus 28, plus 41, plus 3, plus 17, plus 19, plus 15. So okay, so if you want to start to really go like break it down,
Right.
and then so even though their losses were -7, so not like a one touchdown loss, right? So then you look
Right.
at Georgia Tech +7, plus 47, plus 3, plus 21, plus 1, plus 15, plus 9, plus 25, then -12 for their
Yeah.
one loss. And then you got Virginia +41, -4, plus 39, plus 28, plus 8, plus 3, plus 2, plus 1, plus 10. So it's like even their one loss was not as a bad loss, but they lost to NC State.
NC State. Yeah.
So then NC
And
State just beat who did just beat?
just beat Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Just beat Georgia Tech. So that NC State
No.
win.
Yeah.
Shit,
It's not
they
that
both lost.
loss doesn't look
See, they
bad.
both lost to
Yeah.
NC State. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So it doesn't look too bad. Like there's potential. That's what I was saying. I don't know if they get more than 2 or 3 because it depends. Like, say it's Virginia versus Georgia Tech. Virginia's 11-1. Georgia Tech's 10-2. Georgia Tech wins, so I think Virginia probably would still get in at 11-2. But does a 10-2 Louisville and a 10-2 Miami get in? I don't know. I don't think so.
they might just get two. It
I
might
think,
be.
I think they'll get 2, and that'll probably be it. Like last year. Last year they got Clemson, and Clemson beat SMU, but SMU still snuck in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all they end up with. But that's what I'm saying. That opens the door for the Big 12 to get a second team. But it depends how it falls this year with the SEC. Because like, is the SEC just going to cannibalize each other, and then there's a bunch of like 9-3 teams like last year, or does like some of these other teams stay 10-2?
And but even still, like honestly, would you lean more towards the 9-3 SEC team that has like 2 quality wins versus like a 10-2 ACC team with no quality wins?
Right. Like you look at Virginia. Like Virginia loses the cover. They have like no quality wins really. And I like Virginia, but would you take a 10-2 Virginia team over a 9-3 Oklahoma team who's beaten Michigan, who's beaten Tennessee? Who else is on their schedule?
They beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
Um,
Now they play. I think they play Bama, Missouri, and LSU down the stretch, so they could be like 7-5 too. Those though.
beat a ranked Auburn at the time.
Ranked, yeah, but that win's kind of diminished
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't
And
know.
if they're 9-3, they got to beat Mizzou and LSU down the stretch because I don't think they're going into Alabama and winning. So, or even like a 9-3, even as much as I hate to say this, like Texas, who's beaten Oklahoma.
And that's the thing.
Who-
Texas are kind of trending upwards right now.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's too is like if you going on a winning streak, how much does the committee? Because I think this should be have we gotten our official
The
playoff?
first one's Tuesday. Yeah.
So we should see what the committee thinks so far, so which I think will help us, and we'll be able to talk about that next week.
Right.
But I think Texas is going to be that team that's going to make everyone so angry.
Yeah, I'm already prepared for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've only got 2 losses. They lost week 1 to Ohio State by 7, even though they like that game. They never really. It was like
That's
Ohio
a quality
State.
loss. That's
a
a
quality loss. Yeah,
and their
then
other loss was to Florida, but that was only by 7, 8.
Yeah, and you got wins over Oklahoma and Vandy. So, but they got to play Georgia and A&M down the stretch, so they could lose 2 more games.
If they win out, I think they get in.
Oh God, if they win out, yeah, beating Georgia and A&M, they're for sure in. Yeah.
But okay. This was fun. That
was fun. I always love talking college football, so this was fun. I'm glad to have this new show and getting to chop it up some college football on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. So if you guys make sure you guys follow us here at Sports Fluent, and make sure you appreciate your Saturdays, because Saturdays are very sacred, and we will be here Sundays at 12 noon Eastern. It's 9 Pacific.
Or 10, 9 Pacific. Yep.
And we'll keep breaking down. Next week we'll definitely be breaking into the college football playoff. We didn't get to the Heisman yet, but we're still trying to figure that out. So maybe give us another week so we can do our homework and figure out who's going to be the Heisman. But yeah, right. I think we got a good idea of who we think are the best candidates. I hope we open up your eyes to some people, and we'll see how many we can get right and see if these people that we brought up are going to get opportunity. Who get these second chances? Who can get their first chance at a big Power 5, Power 3, Power 4, Power 1, really, Power 2.
Yeah, Power 2. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves there. Yeah, but I hear you.
Anything else you want to say, Cody, before we wrap it up?
No, man. I'm looking forward to the playoff rankings this week. We'll get into that next week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking every Sunday on the show. It'll be fun.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Cody. Have a great rest of your day. Did I say go Mammoths? Like, do you have like a saying?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm just trying to see the game. But yeah, we'll say, go Mammoth today. I'm going to that game here in about an hour and a half. Yeah.
So, well, have fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. I did. We'll catch you guys next Sunday.
See ya.
Snap back, quarterback rolling right. He's looking end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
Saturdays are sacred. A football podcast.